Conspiracy theories, a topic that I, along with many other people around the world, are morbidly fascinated with. For me, it all started as a kid when I first discovered YouTube. I used to binge UFO and alien sighting videos that used the X-Files theme, like unironically, before it was a meme. Then I moved on to channels like Matthew Santoro, Danger Dolan, Dark5, and Rob Gavigan back when he was still called Rob Dyke. Then later on, I started watching channels like Scare Theater, Nightmare Expo, who's now Nexpo, and I still watch him to this day, Rainbot, and other channels of that nature, who are all horror channels but have some conspiracies sprinkled into them. But then just last year, I discovered Wendigoon, who quickly became one of my favorite YouTubers because of all the cool topics he covers. I binged literally all of his videos, including his 9-hour long conspiracy theory iceberg series, and more, and I still watch to this day. So basically what I'm trying to say is, I've been exposed to so much conspiracy stuff throughout my entire life, that I guess because of that, I started to form my own theories that I haven't really seen online yet. And I know some of them technically aren't conspiracy theories, but people generally call these kinds of theories conspiracies, so whatever. But in the Halloween spirit, I want to share to you 5 original conspiracy theories that I made up all by myself. So sit back, relax, try to suspend your disbelief for a while, and enjoy me saying words and hoping they make sense. First one is the invisible world theory. So, whenever you watch a movie or play a video game and you become so immersed in what's happening, your mind starts to block off everything else you see that's not on the screen. Like when you put your focus solely only on the screen, you tend to not really notice your surroundings, and as if you're only seeing what your eyes are focused on. Like, if I ask you right now what your favorite movie scene of all time is, a majority of you would probably recall it as looking full screen, despite there being objects other than the screen within vision. Same with if I ask you right now what the most memorable moment of your life is. You probably again recall that moment as if it were full screen with no obstructions. But in reality, your nose was there the whole time. There's not a single moment you don't see your nose, unless you don't have one, of course. If you have long hair too, your hair could probably be in that memory, but your brain just chooses to ignore it. So basically, we see all these small things all the time, but our brain chooses to block them out because they're not the subject of our focus. So, that got me thinking, what if there are things we see in everyday life that we simply don't notice because our brains block them out? And could there be a way to possibly put our focus on these things and notice them? For example, these things could be aspects of reality our bodies aren't built to see, or maybe we're a character in a movie, a game, or a comic, and the writers don't allow us to notice the fourth wall. Another thing could be that maybe we're in a dream or a simulation, with glitches and inconsistencies happening all the time, but we're coded to be unable to see them. Just like the way AI in games never notice when there's bugs in a game, or how in a dream, you don't really tend to notice inconsistencies until you wake up. Or maybe today we're already getting glimpses into the invisible world, with sightings of ghosts, demons, angels, and other cryptids actually being a short window peering into their world. Or maybe there are things so dangerous to even perceive that throughout evolution, we evolved to block them out. And maybe we can only see this invisible world, whatever version it may be that I mentioned, through evolving, immense mental training, opening your third eye, psychedelics because of stories where people take them and see the same things as other people, and the belief that these drugs don't cause you to hallucinate, but to see reality for what it really is. And these are all theories, by the way. I'm not encouraging you to take drugs. Please do not take drugs for legal reasons. Or it could simply be being exposed to a certain stimuli that clicks something in your head and makes you wake up to the invisible world. Similar to how people begin to lucid dream once they notice an inconsistency in their dream and wake up while dreaming. The possibilities are endless, but it might be for the best that we don't see this invisible world, because we truly have no idea at all what it could cause to even just be aware of it. After all, ignorance is bliss. The floating consciousness theory. So, for this theory, let's say that there is the human body and connected to it is consciousness. The human body, of course, is our physical self, while the consciousness is sort of like our soul. It's the data of all our thoughts and everything we ever felt. The brain is the only thing that can alter the consciousness. So when one dies, the brain dies, meaning one cannot alter their consciousness any longer. Meaning that whatever state the consciousness was in before its body died is permanently frozen into that state. So that means when you die, you're left only with all the thoughts and emotions that you had while alive, possibly manifesting themselves as a sort of afterlife fit just for you, where you'll stay in forever and ever as your consciousness endlessly floats, serving as either a personal heaven or hell. If you knew you were a shitty person your whole life and you knew you deserved hellfire, you'd be stuck in hellfire for the rest of eternity. But if you never really believed in anything like an afterlife and believe that there's nothing after death, you would experience nothing infinitely. But if you knew you were always good to others and always believed in a happy afterlife, you can now live there happily forever and ever. It all really depends on the person and the lives they lived, which is really beautiful. The evil get punished and the good get rewarded. Now, this idea could definitely be scary for many, including me at first. But if anything, it should be motivational for all of us to keep doing good in life and not be a shitty person. So please, be good, because if not, who knows what awaits, and there's nothing anyone can do to save you. Or maybe it's already too late, and you're actually floating right now, remembering the time you watched this video while you were still alive. The overlapping truths theory. Now, I based this theory off multiple times throughout history where people swear on their life that they saw this one thing, while other people swear on their life that they saw a completely different thing when both of them were looking at the exact same thing. Now, what could be happening, obviously, is that only one thing is truly happening and people's varying accounts are just simply how they perceive this thing. It could also be that people all saw the same thing, but some lie about it in their accounts, mix it with other memories in their head, or just forget it happened completely. But what if there are instances where both sides of the story are right, despite being completely different from each other? Now let me try my best to explain. For damn sure, I am not a quantum physicist, but I will try my best to explain something in quantum physics the best I can, like in dumbass terms. So there's this thing called superposition, where a quantum system can be in two states of being at the same time. Now, for example, with electrons, they could either have an upspin or a downspin. But with superposition, they are both upspins and downspins at the same time. Now, that was really trippy to learn, and nobody knows why it is that way yet, but this only happens on a quantum level. In this theory, though, maybe there are instances where superposition happens on a larger scale and not just on a quantum level, like a lot of events throughout history with conflicting accounts. Like for example, let's say people saw a UFO. Crowd A saw that the UFO came from the left, while crowd B saw that it came from the right. But in reality, through superposition, the UFO moved from both the left and the right at the same time. Crowd A was on the left side and crowd B was on the right side, which is why they reported that the UFO came from their respective sides, but in reality, this superposition UFO came from both sides at once. Now we can make it even more complicated and involve superpositioned people. Now we all know that Hitler died by but with theories of him faking his death and still being alive, what if he was superpositioned and he didn't at the same time, and now there's another Hitler running around? Maybe that could also be the explanation for stories of doppelgangers that just appear out of nowhere. It could be that one person is superpositioned and this doppelganger is another state of that person just roaming around freely. Okay, now I know this absolutely makes no sense in real life, but you gotta admit, this makes a great concept for a sci-fi. But I guess nobody fully understands the quantum world anyway, so who knows if I'm right or wrong? I mean, a broken clock is right twice a day, right? So who knows? Maybe you're superpositioned and the other you is out there, somewhere. The quantum control theory. Now, I thought of this one while thinking about how random emotions and thoughts can be at times, to the point where they don't really feel like it's you feeling and thinking those things. And if you're crazy enough, you could believe that someone else is controlling you. So I came up with this absolutely crazy tinfoil hat theory. So, time travel. We're all familiar with the concept at this point. People travel from their present time to the past or future and all that kind of stuff. In Avengers Endgame, the Avengers time traveled through using the quantum realm, a plane of existence smaller than atoms. And remembering that made me think, what if people from the future developed quantum technology, allowing themselves to shrink down like the size of Ant-Man, and discovered time travel, went back in time, and are now living with us right now in present day? And even crazier, what if they're secretly controlling us, planting chemicals inside of us to make us feel how they want us to feel, or planting data in our brains to make us think the way they want us to think, possibly to create a timeline suited just for them. And at this giant size of ours, there's absolutely nothing we can do to stop them. That thought is pretty terrifying, that we have no free will at all this whole time and are completely being controlled by these ant-men. But could also be calming, I guess, knowing you're never alone and that there's always company with you, guiding your way, assuming these ant-men are good people. So the next time you ever feel alone, just remember that there could be a population of 1 trillion ant-men living within your body, always with you wherever you go. The cycle of existence. Now, this one is my favorite theory of this bunch. Not only because I think it's such a cool theory, but also because it's just affected me the most and has its own backstory. So let me first explain everything from the beginning. So, last year, me and my family were eating dinner together one rainy night while my grandma was watching the news. And she was shocked to find out that missiles had been launched to hit somewhere abroad, somewhere owned by the company my grandpa used to work for. So we went outside while it was still rainy, and my grandpa was sitting where he always sits every night, and my grandma told him what happened, and obviously he was shocked to hear the news. They began to talk about war and countries and stuff, but my mind drifted to somewhere else. Like, I kept wondering why war continues to happen, and will they ever be stopped one day? Like the sort of thoughts kids have. I went up to my room that night with that exact thought in my head, thinking about it for so long and watching videos trying to explain war, but it still confused me so much. But I thought optimistically that if we could all do our parts, whether it be donating, spreading awareness online, or voting people who can truly do good, although small within the picture of the world, maybe these slight pushes can bring the world to one day have no war, and that world would be absolutely beautiful. But I still thought to myself, murder, harassment, robbery, all these different crimes would still happen. And I thought again that if we do all we can, maybe we can one day stop all of these from occurring. And although very, very optimistic of me, if that world exists, that would be a very, very beautiful world. But I guess it wasn't enough, and I still thought to myself, sickness, hunger, and more terrible things like this exist. Then it all snowballed from there. I thought maybe we could advance science enough to solve sickness and hunger. But pain, guilt, regret, and more negative feelings still exist though, so maybe we can program ourselves to feel them no longer. But then death still exists, so we should completely shed our humanity to become immortal. And finally, we should all become one hive mind to unite everyone and erase separation and conflict. And now that all on Earth are one, it's time to make the whole galaxy one, then the whole universe, then the whole multiverse, and after all the dimensions, until everything that exists is one. But then what? What else is left? I felt completely empty. I didn't want this world to become true. I changed my mind, and I wanted to stay in this world instead. But thinking about it, does that mean I want suffering to exist still? Does that mean I want people around the world, including myself, to never stop suffering so we would never feel empty in the end? I just realized how paradoxical humans are. We hate all negative things and want them to stop, and instead only want positivity. But we can never have one without the other. We want to progress humanity to solve all problems, but also want problems to exist, because without them we have nothing to progress, if that makes sense. So then I formed this theory, that what if, because of our paradoxical nature, we made ourselves part of an infinite cycle of existence, where we were first created and then progress throughout the ages until all problems are solved, and all becomes one being that is everything. Now, this one being that is everything, being empty and having no more purpose, shatters itself, creating everything again, allowing problems to exist once more. Now, the newly created people will once again progress throughout the ages until they become the one being that was their beginning and also their end, their Alpha and Omega, or essentially, their God. And this cycle of existence will repeat again and again, forever and ever. We could be in the quadrillionth cycle right now, we could also be in the first, or maybe for whatever reason, we could be in the last. This blew my mind for an entire month when I thought of this, and changed the whole way I saw life. It could be scary knowing that whatever we do to progress humanity, however hard we work, it'll all be meaningless because everything will be reset in the end, just for humanity to progress all over again. But it is good to know that we don't really have to worry about a thing. The cycle of existence will always continue, and everything good will always continue to exist. And instead of worrying too much about what will happen to humanity in the far future, we can enjoy the beauty of life as we go, enjoying the journey instead of the destination, although it is cliche to say. Because even if everything may be meaningless in the end, that puts it in our own hands to bring meaning to life. And that's all that I got for now. I have even more theories, but I figured 5 would be just enough, or 5 might even be too much even. But yeah, I hope you made sense of whatever the hell I was saying. I hope it made at least the littlest of sense. But if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. And before I leave, I just wanted to say thank you so fucking much for 509 subscribers. That is absolutely crazy. The last time I checked, oh, that's The Rock. The last time I checked, it was at 101. And that was 2 weeks ago. And now I have 509. I'm just so thankful. The Berserk video got 70,000 views. This one got 500. This one that I uploaded 2 days ago got 300. And I've been reading all your comments, and so much of it is positive. And I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who watches, likes, subscribes, anything. I really appreciate it. And I'm gonna keep continuing doing more kinds of content. I'll keep continuing the type of content I do, like Roblox videos, reacting, or just playing games. But try to add a little variety each time. Just like right now, I'm doing something I never did before, just like ramble on about conspiracy theories I made. That whatever it is that I do, people seem to still keep watching, so I'm really thankful for that. I hope people watch this one and don't instantly leave. But yeah, I'll try to keep doing the same things, but also add a little bit of variety each time just to keep it fun. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, because you're literally the reason why I'm doing this. If there's no one watching, I wouldn't make a video. So the fact that 509 people are watching, maybe 505 because some of you subscribe to 2 channels. The fact that that much people are watching just really motivates me to do more videos, and I want to keep continuing this channel and see where it goes. But yeah, I just wanted to thank you really quick, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I hope I made sense somehow, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
We all go to space and we're all gay and we're communists. So yeah.